Hey YouTube, petey twofinger here. I'm sharing a recipe. I had watched a video where they were talking about Pulp Fiction. There's a scene where they eat at Johnny Rockets or some place, kitschy place they eat at, and he says, "You're getting a $5 milkshake." And he says, "What's in that thing? They don't even put any bourbon in it." So I looked that up because it's like bourbon in a milkshake. I would either think that would not be good or it would be incredible. And it turns out it is. It's like the best thing I've ever had. So I had been looking at shake recipes, and this is what I came up with. I think basically, as long as you add the bourbon, you're good. And in my case, I went and got an airplane bottle of what's called Jim Beam, and that's a bourbon style cheap whiskey. You can get the airplane bottle for $1.19 in my area. So I don't keep hard liquor in the house. It's just not a good idea. Probably would be in prison if. Anyway, we used 1 tablespoon, and that would basically we could make 3 of these shakes out of that. And then I went and picked up a can of whipped cream. So the recipe goes like this: it is 2 cups of ice cream, 1 tablespoon of booze, a half a cup of milk, a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, a pinch of cinnamon. And how much did you say about the extra sweetener? It was a half a tablespoon honey
And then about a teaspoon of sugar.
and about a teaspoon of sugar. And then she blended that quickly in a blender and then sprayed some additional whipped cream on top of that and then dusted that whipped cream with a little bit of pinch of cinnamon. And ideally, you want to use a spoon. Like if you got an iced teaspoon, that's really what you want to serve, a long spoon so you don't get the sticky fingers. And then a metal straw. So you can get those metal straws on eBay. They're 75 cents or $1. They've got different, either you want a straight one or you want one that kind of angles over. And you can get the cleaning brushes for those as well. So you want to recycle, you want to reuse, you want to, if you're a straw person, you want to have your own actual straw rather than, you don't want a plastic straw when you could have a metal one for this. Are you kidding me? This shake. And then what you want to do is take like a glass and run hot water on that. This is the morning before you're going to have the shake, or at least an hour. Run hot water on that glass. You can just do it on the outside of the glass if you're in a hurry. And then, because you want to put this glass in the freezer, but you don't want a big chunk of ice at the bottom of your shake. Now, this is another thing. Some people put ice cubes in the shake, and that will make it thicker. So that's up to you. It's just kind of hard on your blender. We didn't do it this time, and like I said, basically this is whatever your shake recipe is, and you're adding a tablespoon of bourbon to it. Now you could, the other interesting things, like I've got a actual vanilla bean. It was kind of expensive. It was like $3.53 for 1 bean, and you use half of that. You scrape that little tiny vanilla beans out of there and use that as an extra ingredient. As far as the pinch of salt, the vanilla extract, the honey, and the pinch of cinnamon, That's all up to you. These are all extra ingredients. You could just as well make this with a half a cup of milk, 2 cups of ice cream, and then add 1 tablespoon of your favorite bourbon. And like if you don't have to use Jim Beam. That's cheap stuff. If you've got some Knob Creek or some vanilla flavored bourbon, whatever you got, and it's certainly instead of adding honey and sugar, if you make a simple syrup, you could use that. If you make a vanilla syrup, certainly could use that. Sometimes people use cola. It gives it that extra sweetness and a little bit of different flavor, and the coloring. Sometimes people will use malted milk powder in a smaller amount as an additional secret ingredient. So these are all ideas for you to try experimenting with your shake. I would say this recipe, you're going to want to split this. You're going to be like, oh, it wasn't that much. Like it was an 8 or 10 ounce shake. If you make this, you're going to get 2 of those. And you're going to think, oh, that's, when I go to McDonald's, I get one that's this big. Well, this shake, don't you feel like
Yeah, I'm totally full.
it's,
It was enough.
yeah, like it's a gut bomb. And that might be the cream. I bought a can of, spray whipped topping that was actual whipping cream. It wasn't the whipped topping, it was the whipped cream one. But yeah, bourbon in a vanilla shake is incredible. Now, I see Bobby Flay and other people are talking about a caramel, adding caramel into this, and I think that would work really well. Like I said, next time that we make this in a few days, when I recover from this, I'm going to try it again, and we're going to eliminate the cinnamon and see how that goes. You liked that, having it on the whipped cream?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's good. The flavor from this was intense. It was this wasn't like, oh, that milkshake is good. It was like it had a whole nother thing going on. It was really, really, like I said, it was the best dessert I ever had. I have to say, it was just incredible. It was so good. Now, I've had Floating Island. I've had my mom's homemade ice cream cake. I've had, Gamti makes me a, what do you call that you make me?
The cake?
Refrigerator cake with
Cockeyed
this.
cake.
Cockeyed cake with this.
Which
So
is
I've
your
had
mom's-
some.
I mean, it's from
I've had some
your
good
mom.
homemade desserts. I really gotta consider. Do I want to put it at the top of the list? It was unbelievably good. So definitely, when you're out and about, pick up an airplane bottle of bourbon, pick up a thing of ice cream, dig that blender if you got one of those handheld shake mixers, or if you like us and making shakes is a thing that you do. We have a actual shake machine. And surprise your old lady and whip up a batch of these shakes and enjoy. It's really something special. This is a treat of a lifetime. So I'll catch you guys later, and definitely let me know if you tried out this recipe. Let me know what you thought of it, and peace.